with everything going on in the world. You want to know the irony of it all? It's all made up. Everything is just ideas. Don't get me wrong, they serve us in many ways. But without perspective, we assume everything is definitive and static. It's always been this way, they say. But has it? Go back in time long ago. Go someplace far away. And these ideas suddenly don't exist anymore. Your government is powerless in another time. Your money is worthless in another country. Your norms are non-influential in another culture. Step back. Don't forget these ideas are made up. They only have existence when we agree they do. And most importantly, we can change them. Thankfully, the vast majority of us agree on the vast majority of ideas. In other words, most of us are in the middle. We can assume a standard bell curve distribution of ideas versus agreement. So let's start here, at the mean. If all these social structures rely on agreement, what do we agree on? Let's look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs to help us. At the bottom, we have the same physiological needs. And after that, we need safety, love, esteem, and self-actualization. Each level is predicated on the fulfillment of the levels below. We all agree on these needs, at least at the bottom. So why don't we start here? If we want, we can overlay the hierarchy of needs onto the bell curve distribution. Of course, we might still disagree on how to satisfy such needs. As of now, we have a mess of laws you need a law degree to understand, and that act as patchwork rather than groundwork, and espouse judgment and punishment based on ever-changing ideas and call it justice. But let me suggest this. Instead, government, money, norms could all be thought of as minimal incentive frameworks. In other words, their purpose could be to align as little incentives as possible, so that it's easy to do what's right and hard to do what's wrong. What's right is to allow for the fulfillment of such needs for all. What's wrong is to disallow for the fulfillment of such needs for all. If there's a conflict between two parties' needs, the party with the lower hierarchical need affected takes precedent. If the need is equal in hierarchy, the need is shared equally. The goal? To raise the bar for everyone. Of course, this requires representatives to share the same incentives as the populace. But the status quo is working for the powers that be. So where's their incentive to change? They're the powers that be because we agree to give them that power. So they would rather it stay the same, and for you to believe it always will. So it's up to you to take your power back. You be the powers that be. Use your power to make change. Making change requires two things: an awareness of what is, and an agreement of what works. Can we stop lying to ourselves and find awareness? Can we stop fighting each other and find agreement? Right now, do we agree with what we are agreeing to? What's the difference between what is and what works? Can we change what is and what works into what is works? Or is what is just the way it is? Let's take war, for example, the absolute worst of human tendencies. We agree to it, but do we agree with it? Is this how we'd like to settle our disagreements? You wouldn't shoot your neighbor over a disagreement. Yet we assume killing people far away over made-up ideas is not only okay, but will never change. I chalk this up to diffusion of responsibility. Here are some units of society: the self, the partner, the family, the community, the company, the state, the country, the world, and so on. There's a negative correlation here. The further you get down the line, the larger the population, and the smaller the responsibility you feel for the actions of the whole. Well, that's not my fault. Perhaps not, but it's still your responsibility, as diffused as it is. And we all ought to see it that way as good stewards of our society. At which point on the line do you stop identifying as part of you? Wherever that is, the powers that be will certainly exploit your lack of compassion. You wouldn't hit yourself with a hammer, would you? Obviously not. It hurts. What about your partner? Your family member? Obviously not. What hurts them hurts you. Perhaps hurt people. But if we all agree to stop hurting ourselves and others, no one will be hurt. So where do you draw the line? Where does your compassion end? Can you not see yourself and everyone else? Can you not see the true oneness above all the made-up separateness? So you want to know the irony of it all? We're all one. We have the power. We can all agree. We made it all up, and we can change it. Thank you guys for tuning into Reality Television. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing. This obviously isn't an idea I can tackle in one video, so stay tuned for more content like this. That said, these are just ideas I wanted to share, not an end-all be-all. And I would love to hear your ideas in the comments below.